I would like to talk about the topics of discipline, habit, and intuition. So, discipline and habit seem very similar, and intuition might seem a little different. But I think what really inspired me to talk about this is that I realized that from reading a lot of different personal development books I've been reading, I realized that how we use our free time, and especially how we use our time, is it represents who we are. So we basically are what we do and what we do most often. So what we do most often is a habit, and discipline is the ability to keep going forward despite all the distractions and all the challenges that we may face. So a, a disciplinary action could be to meditate for 1 hour every day, or to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning. And all that takes discipline. It takes a lot of motivation and effort to do at first. But I think once you get past maybe about, some people say 30 days, some say 60 days, but once you get past about a month with whichever habit you're wanting to change, once you get past a month, it will no longer be much of a discipline as it will be a habit. And so there's a lot of what I've discovered in myself is that there's a lot of habits that I do that are probably not the best habits in the world. And there's some habits that I would really like to do, such as to wake up earlier, to meditate more, to eat healthier. And there's bad habits I do, such as I don't eat very healthy, I procrastinate on things, which that is good and bad. There's pros and cons to that too. And I don't work out as much. So those are some things that I struggle with. Now, our intuition is that voice, it's our heart's, to me at least, it's our voice inside of our, it's basically the voice of our hearts speaking to us, that is guiding us along our journey. So intuition is beyond logic and reasoning. It is our higher self or solar spirit, whichever you whichever you want to call it. It is our higher self giving us guidance. It is our higher self or soul speaking through us, because once the mind is silent, that is where our heart's intuitions can speak with us, because it's kind of like our mind is like a pond, in that there's too many ripples in the pond. You can't see the reflection of your heart, which is the moon in this analogy. Um, so, yeah. And I think to get in touch with your intuition, it's really important to have moments of silence and moments in nature. And I did this recently. I had a lot of stuff coming up, and you know what? I just said, screw it all. I'm just going to go out in nature. I'm going to take a 8 mile hike. And I did that. And man, solitude is something that I really realized that I need to do more of. That's something that I take for granted. And I think being connected out with nature, just you by yourself, just you with actually you with yourself. Now there's a small difference here. There's a you with yourself and a you by yourself. So with yourself, it's where you're actually present with yourself. You're not afraid of yourself to turn inwards and to have a relationship with yourself, because a lot of people think that that a relationship needs two people, which is true in some cases, but we often take for granted, and we often neglect the relationship with ourselves. And then if we can foster a relationship with ourselves, we can do this through journaling, through hiking, meditating, running, etc. But if we can be with ourselves, that helps build a relationship with ourselves, and it helps with our mental health and spiritual, emotional, and physical well-being. It improves the health. There's science that shows that if we can be with ourselves and if we can journal, meditate, do all these exercises, we will be more in control of ourselves and our lives. So that fear of being alone, that fear of being lonely, um, we can there can be a way for us to get past that and just see that this is an opportunity for me to be with myself. In fact, back in my last episode on framing, our framing, we can see certain obstacles in our lives as opportunities for growth. And I think following your intuition, if you are working on a project that needs to get done, but if you have an intuition, like for me, it just told me just to go on this hike. I went on my hike and I gained a lot of insight about myself. And I realized that it was as if I was returning home when I was on that hike with myself. And I think that's one of the most amazing things. And I encourage you all to go into your habits, look into yourself. What is my intuition trying to tell me? Just try to silence your mind. What is my heart trying to tell me? What habits do I want to instill in my life? Which habits do I want to not have in my life? I can probably give up my bag of Cheetos. I can give up soft drinks and I can give myself water, vegetables, nutrients, and these will help clear up the mind and heart. And I think it takes intuition, it also takes discipline, and it takes guts and basically discipline. It takes all that to make the habit you want, and that habit, it will, it will, if you make that discipline into a habit, and if you can have that habit over time, it'll be second nature. You'll be getting up early. You'll be having positive thoughts. You'll be journaling, dream journaling. You'll be exercising and eating healthy without even thinking about it. That's the power of habit, is that you do things without even thinking about it. And let's hope we can do positive things without thinking about it. And with that, I'll leave you all with that. And I wish you all a wonderful day. And may the force be with you. May your heart be with you.